In China, the dish Xīhóngshì Chǎo Jīdàn is beloved by food bloggers so much that they have named it the unofficial national dish. Now, here in the States, many Chinese immigrants and their families crave this stir fry of tomatoes and eggs. It's reminiscent of their childhood and their upbringing. Well, I love a good craving, and Becky's here, and she's going to show us how to make this great dish.
So easy, and I'm really excited to cook it with you.
Me too.
You know, eggs can overcook in a flash.
Yes.
So we nailed down a foolproof process for those, and we're also going to make sure that the tomatoes contribute some nice sauciness without being too liquidy. So let's start with the tomatoes.
Okay.
We have one 28-ounce can of whole tomatoes, and this dish is commonly made with fresh tomatoes, but we wanted to be able to make this year-round.
Right.
So we're going with canned, and I'm just going to cut these into about 1-inch pieces here. All right, there's our last tomato. So now I have some aromatics over here that we'll get ready. I have 4 scallions, and this is just the white parts, sliced nice and thin. I'm saving the greens for a garnish at the end.
Okay, great.
And 3 cloves of thinly sliced garlic, 2 teaspoons of grated fresh ginger, and we're going to mix that with a tablespoon of vegetable oil. And coating these in oil, this will just make them ready for the wok, so none of the little pieces burn, so they'll all be coated in a little bit of vegetable oil.
Great.
So those are ready, so let's move over to our eggs.
Okay.
I have 8 large eggs here, 2 tablespoons of Xīhóngshì wine, and that has a nice savory flavor to it, and a teaspoon of toasted sesame oil, really nice and fragrant and nutty. And so the liquids, not only do they season the eggs, but they also dilute the proteins. So it makes it harder for them to bond, and so they're less likely to form tough, tight curds.
Gotcha.
And then half teaspoon of salt, because we want them to be seasoned. So we'll whisk those together. So while I finish whisking here, if you wouldn't mind turning on the burner to medium-high, I have 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil in the wok there.
Okay. Are you ready to take your cooking to the next level? Introducing the complete America's Test Kitchen TV show cookbook, featuring every recipe from every episode of America's Test Kitchen. That's thousands of recipes. That texture is unbelievable. Reviews,
Gadgets you didn't know you needed.
and tips.
Yes, there's some terrible choices, but there are also some amazing choices.
We've spilled all of our secrets and included our insider notes alongside each recipe. Plus, there's a handy shopping guide so you know exactly what to grab when you're at the store. And of course, it makes an excellent gift. Get your copy today at americastestkitchen.com.
So you can see our oil is starting to shimmer there. So let's add our eggs.
That's a good sound.
Yeah, that's what we want. Now we just want to slowly but constantly stir for 1 to 2 minutes here. We want the eggs to coagulate. And I know it seems a little counterintuitive to add eggs to a really hot pan when you want them to be moist and soft, but it's the best way to really get them to steam really quickly. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. You see they've coagulated, they're still wet. Let's transfer them to the bowl here. All right, and then we have our aromatics that we have all ready to go. Scallion, the ginger, get ready for some good smells here.
Oh yeah.
So let's let these go for 30 seconds just so they can start to get really aromatic,
Gotcha.
which is happening already. All right, so that's about 30 seconds. Let's add our tomatoes. So we're adding the tomatoes and all those juices that we strained off. 2 teaspoons of sugar. That's just going to bring out the nice sweetness of those tomatoes.
Right, sometimes the canned tomatoes can be a little tinny, a little acidic.
Yep, so the sugar really is a nice addition there. And half teaspoon of salt. So now we're going to let this simmer for 5 to 7 minutes. We want to cook it down until almost all those juices are gone. We want it to be almost dry, and then we will finish the recipe up.
Okay, sounds great.
It's been about 5 minutes, and you can see how much that liquid has reduced. It's nearly dry.
That happened fast.
Just 5 minutes. This whole dish comes together very fast.
Yeah.
So let's put our eggs back in. And I also have the scallion greens that we reserved,
Right.
chopped into 1-inch lengths. So we're just going to cook this for about a minute. I'm going to break up any large curds of egg. All right, I'm going to call that done. That looks pretty good to me. What do you think?
That is it?
That's it.
Fantastic.
Do you see how a child can make it?
Yes. Why were you looking at me when you said that?
You can do it, Bridget. You can do this by yourself. Okay, let me put it in our serving dish. There you go.
Oh.
I mean, you can tell how comforting it is. You don't even have to chew it. It's so nice and soft and moist and fragrant.
All right, dig in. I'm glad you brought the forks. That way I can shovel as much of this in as I possibly can.
Your eyes are lighting up.
And there's a whole new world of eggs for me. And the eggs, beautifully creamy, fluffy, not overcooked at all. And the tomato flavor is so concentrated.
Yeah.
It's still really bright.
But then you get the undertones of the sesame oil and the garlic.
The wine.
Yeah, and the ginger.
This is going into the weekly rotation.
Fabulous lunch or dinner when you just have a short amount of time, but you want something satisfying, delicious.
I've got a whole new craving now.
That's good stuff.
Thanks, Becky. Oh, you've got to try this at home. Whisk eggs with Xīhóngshì and sesame oil. Cook the eggs until they're just set and simmer the tomatoes until they're almost dry before adding those eggs back to the pan. So from America's Test Kitchen, one of the best egg dinners you could ever make, Xīhóngshì Chǎo Jīdàn. Also be a great lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe breakfast?
We hope you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed making it.
Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel.
And if you're ready to take your cooking to the next level, head over to americastestkitchen.com and get a free all-access trial membership.
While you're there, you can sign up for our free email newsletters and download our app.
With unlimited access to over 14,000 of our Test Kitchen recipes and 8,000 product reviews, you'll have everything you need to cook and learn.
So I ask, what are you waiting for?
Let's make something great together.